Hi everyone, welcome to Sevilla. Today we are going to follow Rick's walking tour around the city of Sevilla. So join us and we hope you enjoy it. The tour starts here at the Plaza de Los Reyes, right in front of the Cathedral and the Giralda behind me.
The cathedral is the third largest church in Europe, after St. Peter's in Rome and St. Paul's in London, and the largest Gothic church in the world. It was built on the site of Sevilla's old mosque. When the Christians took the city from the Islamic Moors in 1248, they vowed to build a church so huge that anyone who sees it would take them for madmen. Well, we've been inside and it's crazy big. Beside the church, the bell tower called the Giralda used to be a minaret, a tower the Muslims used for the call to prayer. At the bottom, the stones date back from when Sevilla was a Roman city. The middle part was built by the Moors and the top part added by the Christians, to symbolize their triumph of faith. The bronze angel capping the tower, what you see here is a copy of it by the way, is a weather vane. It turns in the wind. It is why this tower is called the Giralda. The Spanish word for rotate is girar. It's the tallest structure in the city. By law, no building in the city center can be higher. These chains you see that ring the cathedral and tower were placed to establish a border between the church and the secular world. Civilians crossing the chains could claim sanctuary in the church. On this side of the cathedral is one of its gates. It was one of the mosque entrances too. The gate and the door are of Moorish style. From here we could see the courtyard, which was used by the Muslims for ablutions, washing their hands, faces, and feet before going inside the mosque to pray. Other than the gate, the courtyard, and the Giralda, the rest of the mosque was destroyed. What was a mosque of bricks is now a cathedral of stone. Above the gate is a scene from the Bible of Jesus driving the merchants out of the temple, a reminder to merchants to keep outside the church grounds. A few steps past the gate, a small plaque honors Miguel de Cervantes, the 16th century author of Don Quixote. Plaques like this mark the places mentioned in his books. A few steps further, we saw graffiti done by 18th century students celebrating their graduation in animal blood. Ugh, I'm glad we don't do that anymore. Up ahead, this street is Avenida de La Constitucion, or Constitution Street. There's a tram line here that violates what should be a purely pedestrian zone. It's a short line, only about 2 kilometers long, and was built in 1992 when Sevilla hosted a Universal Expo. Along this street is the cathedral's main entrance, which is rarely used nowadays. We heard it's only used when a bishop dies, a new one arrives, or when the royals come to visit. The sculpture above the door features Mary during the Assumption. We're now approaching the India archives. In the Golden Age of Spain, the 15 and 1600s, Sevilla was the only port licensed to trade with the New World, making it the largest and wealthiest city in all of Spain. The archives used to be where the trading happened. The building also housed map makers, sea captains, and navigators. Now the building is an archives, housing historic papers related to Spain's overseas territories and free to visit.
We're here at Plaza del Triumfo. From here, we can see the cathedral, the India archives, and the Alcazar.
tall pillar in the middle has the statue of Virgin Mary. The people of Sevilla are obsessed with the Virgin. She's everywhere. Okay, I think you get the idea. Back to the tour.
Look at the queue to enter the Alcazar.
The Alcazar was an Islamic castle and royal palace. Just like Alhambra, the Christians kept most of it and continued building on top of it, so it has been a lavish home for Spain's rulers for 1,000 years. We're not entering the Alcazar this time. That'll be for another video. Wink wink. But we'll see a bit of it through here. This courtyard, Patio de Banderas, is part of the Alcazar and served as a military parade ground. The barracks surrounding it house the king's guards. We can't help but notice the orange trees. They smell wonderful and never lose their leaves, so they provide constant shade. But we've tried them, and they're very sour and bitter. From here, we could also see the Giralda. Next, the tour takes us to Barrio Santa Cruz through the nondescript passage in the courtyard's corner, known as Juderia Gate because this used to be the Jewish quarter. Notice how the pavement is still the original herringbone brick. Barrio Santa Cruz is Sevilla's oldest quarter, a maze of narrow alleys, small plazas, and whitewashed houses. The neighborhood was born way back in Moorish times, when Jews served the Muslim city as merchants, doctors, and bankers. After the Christians took over, they were segregated and the neighborhood was locked with a gate. We now find ourselves in a small plaza and the start of a very long, straight, narrow lane called Calle Agua, the water street. The wall on the right borders the Alcazar's gardens. A plaque on the wall honors Washington Irving, the 19th century American writer who we also came across in Alhambra. He's one of the many Romantic-era novelists, poets, and painters who came to Sevilla to be inspired. There are old pipes built into the wall, which once carried fresh spring water to the Alcazar. This is how the street got its name. Walking a bit more, we reached the heart of Barrio Santa Cruz, Plaza de Santa Cruz. It's a peaceful square with a garden, but it bears witness to some terrible history of the neighborhood. There used to be a synagogue here, but the Christians grew suspicious of the Jews, accusing them of deeds like poisoning the wells and sacrificing Christian babies. Until in the summer of 1391, Christian mobs ransacked the Jewish quarter, killing thousands of Jews and driving away thousands more. The synagogue on the square was demolished, and a Christian church built on the spot, named Church of Santa Cruz, or Church of the Holy Cross, marked by the big ironwork cross in the center. In the times of the Catholic monarchs, Sevilla was a militantly Christian city, the center of the notoriously fanatical institution called the Spanish Inquisition. They staged big rallies where Jews and heretics were publicly tortured and burned at the stake. In 1492, the same year the Catholic monarchs reconquered Granada and drove the Moors out of Spain, Ferdinand and Isabel expelled all remaining Jews, and this neighborhood was emptied. The Spanish Inquisition made Sevilla notorious around Europe as an enemy of freedom. In the 1800s, Napoleon invaded Spain and toppled the old order. They demolished the Church of Santa Cruz and placed the Iron Cross here to mark the spot. From here, we took to Calle Santa Teresa and kept walking until we reached Casa de Murillo, home to Bartolomé Murillo, Sevilla's famous painter in the 1600s. Specialized in painting saints and the Virgin Mary and got rich selling his paintings to the churches around town. When he died, he was buried in his home church, the Church of Santa Cruz. Now his tomb is lost somewhere under the plaza. Directly across from Casa de Murillo is the Monastery of San Jose del Carmen, a convent founded by Saint Teresa of Avila. Continuing on Calle Santa Teresa, then taking a left on Calle Lope de Rueda, then right on Calle Reynoso. We're walking down one of the so-called kissing lanes. Because the buildings are so close together, neighbors could lean across and kiss. If they want to, of course. We got to another small square, Plaza de Los Venerables. The hospital here, Hospital de los Venerables, was founded in 1675 as a retirement home for priests, the Venerables. There's a ceramic tile map on the wall showing Barrio Santa Cruz, way back when. This neighborhood is Plaza de Dona Elvira, supposedly the home of Dona Elvira, the lady love of the famous Sevillan playboy Don Juan. We were lured into this shop by the lovely sounds and smell of roasted nuts, and ended up buying a bag of pistachio garapiñados, candied pistachios, which we finished in no time at all. They were delicious and very addictive. And the walk takes us back to the cathedral where we began. But before we went home, we thought we'd enjoy some early evening drinks. Just a short walk from the cathedral, Alfaro Peregil specializes in orange wine. So we got a glass of that and another glass of strawberry wine.
Smell nice. Quite nice. Although maybe I prefer the naranja little.
They're the perfect end of our afternoon of walking around in Sevilla. We hope you had fun following us along. We'd recommend Rick Steve's walking tour to anyone visiting Sevilla. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching all, and see you in our next video.